Alright, what is going on, gamers? You are watching Larians. Today we are trying out Timeless, the new format on Magic Arena. The idea is it is all of the cards that are on Arena, except for a few that are restricted because they are stupidly powerful and or just weird, being Channel, the 2 green that lets you pay life to make colorless mana, lets you cast big stuff on turn 2 way too easily. Demonic Tutor, 1 in black to search your library for any card, and then Tybalt's Trickery, which we've certainly seen by now, the red counterspell that lets you flip into other stuff in your deck that and those wizards has decided do not make for very good games of Magic when your deck is built around them, so you are restricted to playing only 1 copy in your deck. Otherwise, everything is legal in this format, including the alchemy cards, but all paper cards are not modified, so we can play the original printing of Dragon Rage Channeler here, which is very, very strong. So it's a brand new format. No one really has solved it yet, which is very exciting. We're not doing anything too goofy with this deck today. We're playing efficient threats, efficient card advantage, and some efficient answers. So our threats, we have Ragavan. This is now the only format on Arena you can play 4 Ragavans, which is very fun. Always want to play this card, and this is now the cheapest way to do so. We've got Dragon Rage Channeler, the unmodified version. So Ragavan, for those who perhaps only play Arena, 1 mana 2/1, when it deals combat damage to a player, you make a treasure and exile the top card of their library. You can cast that card this turn. So makes mana, essentially draws cards. You can also dash it, so for 2 mana you can play it with haste, then it returns to your hand if you're afraid of sorcery speed interaction. A lot of games you can play this on turn 1 and it will completely take over, being both mana and card advantage, and also hitting your opponent for 2 every turn. Dragon Rage Channeler, 1 mana 1/1. When you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1, you look at the top card of your library, you can put it into your graveyard. Then, as long as there are 4 or more card types in your graveyard, she gets +2/+2 and flying, and attacks each combat if able. So that is a lot of card selection with the surveilling every time you cast a spell, and it's pretty easy in a powerful format to get Delirium. So she's a 1 mana 3/3 flyer, which is very powerful and good at beating your opponent down. Similar decks to this in Legacy play Delver, but Delver's bad, so we're not going to play Delver here. Instead, these are our 1 mana threats. We have our 2 mana threats in Third Path Iconoclast. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you make a 1/1 soldier token. And Ledger Shredder, whenever you cast a whenever a player casts their 2nd spell each turn, this connives, which, yeah, we've seen that mechanic, gets big, card selection, all that good stuff. So 16 pretty nice threats there. We've got Mishra's Bauble. This is now the only format you can play for Mishra's Bauble on Arena. Just very efficient card selection, and is an artifact you can put in the graveyard for your Delirium cards. Unholy Heat also gets Delirium. This is original Unholy Heat, which deals 6 damage if you have Delirium. So it kills just about anything for 1 red mana. And we've got Lightning Bolt, which this is the only format you can play Lightning Bolt. Or 4 lightning bolts anyway. It is legal in the commander variants on Arena. And then Brainstorm. I haven't crafted more Brainstorms because I haven't crafted more fetch lands. More fetch lands means Brainstorm is better. Since we don't have that many fetch lands because fetch lands are expensive, we're playing some Considers here instead. If you wanted to fully optimize this deck, you're probably playing like 3 or 4 more fetch lands and swapping these out for Brainstorms. But draw 3 cards, put 2 back in any order, and then you can crack your fetch land to shuffle them away is the very common Brainstorm play pattern. But consider being able to put a card in the graveyard for Dragon Rage Channeler, and Unholy Heat and Treasure Cruise is also very nice. We've got 2 mana counterspells, Actual Factual Counterspell, and Memory Lapse, which are not legal in Historic, but very efficient answers. We've got Expressive Iteration, which very tragically is banned in Pioneer/Explorer, and I'm very excited to play it here. And Treasure Cruise, which was recently added to Arena, so 8 mana with Delve. You can draw 3 cards. You're usually playing this for 1 mana, as we are very efficient at getting cards in the graveyard here. This is banned in Modern for a reason, and we have a lot of the tools that make it so good in Modern here, with the fetch lands and the Dragon Rage Channeler and the Bauble and stuff like that, to very easily put cards in the graveyard, so we can draw 3 cards for 1 mana very easily here. 17 lands or so, some utility, mostly Den of the Bugbear. For some extra attackers, we've got Lurrus, which is free. The only way we can currently cast Lurrus is off of Ragavan treasures, but we'll see if that happens. It would be a waste not to have Lurrus there. It's just a completely busted card, of course. It's entirely possible a future version of this deck would have a couple black-white shocklands that you can fetch that would be able to cast the Lurrus. Splashing things gets so much easier when you have fetch lands. Anyway, yeah, so efficient answers and efficient threats, I think, are going to be good in a format when people are trying to do a lot of busted stuff. If you can spell pierce their busted stuff while attacking for 3 each turn, that will usually go pretty well for us, I believe. And yeah, that is the deck. Let's go see what's going on here. Yep, opponents on Lurrus. We've got Darcy, card advantage, and answers. Love it. Right, Channeler, Bauble. Kind of interested in just getting Delirium quickly here, so we'll bin just about anything. Bauble on their turn, why not? To Thoughtseize me, sure. See, if I had Baubled on my turn, they would have one more option for the Thoughtseize. Take Counterspell, sure. Activate Bauble. We have a Memory Lapse on top, don't love that. Oh, I do like being able to resolve another threat here. Guess we'll go for the Shredder. It's a good chance they kill whatever one we play this turn, and then the one that we play the following turn will stick around for a bit. Brainstorms. If they cast 2 spells, of course, we're super happy about that. So we get 2 Connive off the Shredder. The more powerful the format, the better this card becomes, as there are more spells being cast. Fetch land, cracks down to 14. Can we get a 12? We can. And it's on Grixis. And a Fatal Push. Get 2 Connive here. Drop off a land. Turns on our Delirium. It's a pretty good chance they're on... I guess I can't really say there's a good chance, but I have a hunch they're on Thassa's Oracle combo, which is banned in Historic and a good reason to be playing Grixis. We will play another threat with our Spell Pierce up. Oh, they're playing Death Shadow. Sure. And another Death Shadow. We can chump those for a while, so I'm not too concerned. Make some blockers. Don't need lands. I'm kind of interested in another Consider, just to trigger my Iconoclast again. And a Ledger Shredder. Do kind of want to hold up Spell Pierce though, I'm a little bit worried. See if we can hit Unholy Heat to take one of these out before we attack them down too far for that. Other Spell Pierce, not really. Already got 1, we don't have 2 blue mana up. Bauble works, keep putting those things down. Not really interested in Ragavan, just want to interact. Would also take a Lightning Bolt to increase the clock here. Mountain, not ideal. And we got him. Yeah, if they just hold back and block, they are pretty close to dead anyway. Good stuff. Some one-landers we can keep. This is not one of them. No cantrips, no one-mana threats. Good. Let's go back the bolt, I suppose. It's only answers certain things. Memory Lapse answers most things. Once Upon a Time is legal in this format, of course. I've seen a fair bit of Delighted Halfling. Don't have green mana to play it, though. Ragavan, sure. Hopefully they can't take out my Channeler. Bone Crusher, sure. Ragavan hits, and sure. That's the halfling. On the draw against Ragavan, always a challenge. Going to fetch basic island here against a possible Blood Moon deck. It's another card we have to watch out for here. Get our Shredder down. Minskin Boo, yeah, that's a card.
I've got one butt-kicking foot, so and magic.
Definitely wish I had that lightning bolt.
Go big, or actually go big. Just go big.
Back these, I suppose. And yeah, we're just real far behind on the draw here. Yeah, this can kill my Shredder and draw them infinite cards. I guess the way we play around that is by attacking it and taking a bunch of damage. So we'll play the Iconoclast to connive, so it can attack for 2 here. Iconoclast can trade with Ragavan if need be.
Okay. He will never wins because it's too tiny.
Minsk voice lines are a bit obnoxious, aren't they? Like 3 times longer than all the other Planeswalkers. Yeah, that's a 7/7. It is now outside of the range we can deal with. And with the halfling, we can't... Yeah, we're just dead? Sure. Yeah, that card's strong. Take a while to see what's good in this format. Blue mana is a bit unfortunate here. That'll do. Putting a lot of cards in the graveyard, so Treasure Cruise is probably going to be better than Brainstorm here. Wild Mikado Gamer, okay. There's a Channeler, and need to draw lands, so we'll get these Baubles down here. Could be greedy and get the extra Surveils off the second Channeler, but I think we're just going to pop them here. Do one now, one after they draw their card. Oh, they're playing Cats, sure. See how that works out for them. Might want the upkeep stop so we can Unholy Heat and Surveil again. Show the Brawler, yeah. Take 2. Acted Company. Let's see, what does this card do? +1/+1 protection from dogs, destroy artifacts, sure. Alright, we draw the land, nice. And we'll draw, and we can Channeler. The land will turn on Delirium. And hold up Unholy Heat. Probably holding the heat for the Cat Lord here. Curious what they think they're accomplishing here. I mean, they can get different basic land type. I guess that pumps either one of these into a 3/3. I think I'm okay trading here. This one can theoretically get bigger than that eventually. Sure. No other plays, huh? Kind of want to Unholy Heat this anyway, just to turn on Treasure Cruise. I'd like a land, sure. Then we can Ledger Shredder into Treasure Cruise. And hope their collected company doesn't kill us. Draw 3, Surveil 1, Connive 1. I should have attacked first, that was stupid. Does some damage there. Takes some time to get used to these things. We'll hold the Counterspell, I think. Yeah. I think we're in okay shape here. Some good draws there. Just got too excited to cast Treasure Cruise. Can you blame me? It's a heck of a card. Oh no, they're not gonna... Alright, good job. Cast your collected company on your turn against the blue deck. And they don't hit very well, so they concede. Not quite sure Cat Tribal is strong enough for this format, but maybe they'll prove me wrong later. Yeah, that'll do. Hard to turn down turn 1 Ragavan. Also, you'll notice that all of the fetch lands get islands and not mountains. That is to play around Blood Moon. And perhaps include Blood Moon in this deck later. Certainly a sideboard consideration if you want to take this into best of 3. I'll bolt my Ragavan, good choice. I think I can hold the fetch land. We'll just play Darcy with Spell Pierce up. Guess I want to play the Ledger Shredder first, so if we have to cast Spell Pierce, we will get the Connive off it. Bowmasters. Yeah, this deck is a bit weak to Bowmasters. But kind of refuse to acknowledge that card exists. It's just such a mistake from every possible standpoint. Absolutely hoses Ledger Shredder, kills all of our 1-toughness creatures. Doesn't get Spell Pierced. Can't let that resolve, so... Guess we can get basic island here. Don't really want to play my Iconoclast out without getting any tokens off it. And I want to hold up Memory Lapse. Opponent's on good old Jund. Yeah, we'll just send that back. Takes their whole turn. 2 Iconoclasts, better than 1, I suppose. They do get to kill 1 immediately off of, yeah. Bowmasters is just so disgusting. I think we have to stay in block. We have 6 cards that kill Bowmasters. Maybe that's not enough. We also have 5 counterspells that get Bowmasters if it is past turn 2. And like, our entire deck draws extra cards, so Bowmasters is real good. I admit I haven't paid much attention to the legacy scene since Bowmasters came onto it. I guess we're just sending in the Bugbear here, right? Not much else we can do. Try and beat down. Dashes Ragavan. They're going to try and race us here, which is probably going to work. Exile another land off the top. Since anything we do to try and get ahead will get us pinged by the Bowmasters. Harvester, sure. Trigger Shredder, non-optional, kills the Iconoclast. I think we're done here. Take 1 draw at it. Yeah, that ain't it. A little bit slow with no 1-mana threat, but I think it's okay. Alright, it's not okay. It's not even a little bit okay. Pretty tough to get in the 3rd and 4th Unholy Heats, but it might be necessary. Memory Lapse. I want to spend their treasure on this. I think that's okay for us. They do not. Dark Ritual, also legal in this format. Sneak Attack, sure. Not sure there's great hits for Sneak Attack in this format, but I guess we'll see. Bauble is a great draw. We can Iconoclast into make another blocker here. Let's see what they're working with. Inquisition, sure. Going to activate Sneak Attack in response. Now they're going to bolt my Iconoclast, sure. Which means they cannot activate Sneak Attack this turn, as that takes red mana. Inquisition probably takes Brainstorm here. They've already resolved the spell they really want to in Sneak Attack, presumably, so they shouldn't be too worried about the counterspell. Yeah, Brainstorm it is. Iconoclast did its job in trading for 2 cards here. Treasure Cruise is lovely. So if I consider, that puts 2 cards in the bin. Sack this, puts a 3rd, and then we can Treasure Cruise. Don't hate that. Guess thin the deck first. We can get basic island here. Unholy Heat is pretty good. Do I want to cruise? I think we can hold off on 1 turn. Keep the counterspell available. And it draws land. And they sneak attack. What is it? Troll of Khazad-dûm. Sure. Let's see the attacks. Alright, we can just heat that, trade with Ragavan, looking pretty good. Channeler into Treasure Cruise. Definitely want the instants. Try and leave 1 land. Artifact, maybe. Yeah, I guess take the artifact. Let's pay blue. Surveil 1. Very nice Delby sound effects here. Expressive Iteration's really good follow-up, but yeah, I can't turn that down. Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce. Alright, I think we're okay here. As long as they don't rip the big thing that they're really trying to sneak attack off the top right here. And they don't. Cool, cool. Ragavan on the play, sure. This time we even have Counterspell if the opponent tries to Bowmaster us on 2. Looks like they're just going to... Okay, Swift Spear, that's fine. Swift Spear does block Ragavan, which is a bit annoying. I think we're just passing here. Probably wanted to play Otawara so we can counterspell here. Leave Brainstorm fetch for next turn, possibly. Looks like opponent is trying to do something pretty similar here. It's possible I should have just attacked and offered the trade. They have their own Ragavan. I think we'll attempt to counter that. Maybe I shouldn't, because we have the Iconoclast, which answers it really well. But it's okay. We're doing fine. They Brainstorm, sure. I don't think that's a card I'm worried about. Save my Spell Pierce for more interactive plays, probably. Yeah, if we Brainstorm without the fetch land, it is much less impressive. And we have the fetch land now, so we'll go for it. Make the token. That's more like it. Let's see. Kind of a ways from this treasure cruise. Definitely interested in Bolt. Which of these threats do I want to keep? Guess the Shredder. There's less chance they'll be able to kill that. I guess I can just Bolt here and try and get in. Memory Lapse. All Spell Pierce. Very much enjoy to hit with my Ragavan here. We have another Spell Pierce. Sure. You got it. I will cast Lightning Bolt again next turn. Here go. Gotten a lot of value out of this Iconoclast. Which we can Shredder first, and try and go for it again. For that sweet, sweet value. Snapcaster there, Memory Lapse, I suppose. Spell Pierce, sure. Got it. I got to connive twice. Feels pretty good. Now I have a 3/5. Are they on Delirium? They're still sorcery away, so now they have it if they have Unholy Heat. As the land says go, looks like my Shredder survives. Draw Treasure Cruise, lovely. I don't see a reason to do that post-combat. No auto-paying here. You want for the full delve. Okay, they do have the Unholy Heat. That's fine. But Treasure Cruise solves and gets us all lands. Lovely. Kinda want to get the Den of the Bugbear down, because it attacks reasonably well here. Guess we can just fetch and buy Lurrus before we're out of islands. Swift Spear really locking us down here. That's a bit unfortunate. Delver, land, Ragavan, sure. Cracks the land. Tapped. Alright, see where this Bauble takes us. They have a spell, which means our attacks with Ragavan still aren't very good. Unless we can Bauble ourselves, since we have the fetch land. Definitely want to fetch that away. I think we're just firing up the Bugbear. That resolved pretty quickly. Leave back 2 blockers for Ragavan. I'd really like my... I think those attacks are fine. Yeah, we'll go with that. Raise the Snapcaster. Eats a Goblin, takes 5. Could be worse. Lightning Bolt off the top, very nice. Opponent does not flip the Delver. Bauble of their own. Okay, another Bauble for us. Guess we get our trigger while we can. Attempt to bolt. And that's game. Third Path Iconoclast, taking down the mirror. Look at all those 1/1s. One lander, only the Bauble. I think we can do better. That's probably worse. But 2 Baubles is a bit better chance at drawing the land. Guess we'll try it. Going too low is not good, obviously. Yep. I think we hold the second one for Shredder purposes. Shocks in. Consider, sure. Go ahead and take the draw. Another consider on top. My turn. Not great. I'll do it again. And I would like to cast more considers. Filling their graveyard for their own treasure cruise, perhaps. Expressive Iteration. Would love to have blue mana to spell pierce that, but here we are. Sokenzan might not be good enough here. Like I said in the intro, more fetch lands are definitely in order. Looks like opponent misses their third land, though. Don't mind that. Lightning Axe. Interesting. Double blue card. Blue card. Rough. Fourth consider. Perhaps Phoenix or something if they're playing Lightning Axe. Yeah, here's Treasure Cruise. Opponent is down to 14 entirely by their own hand. They have 10 cards in hand. They'll have to discard something here. To find the land. Faithless Looting. Yeah, that card's legal too, huh? I should probably be playing that. Card's nuts. They are indeed playing Phoenix, which returns. Go ahead and stop it from attacking us. I might want this Lightning Bolt to burn out our opponent's face, is the consideration here. There's an island. They discarded the Lightning Axe, so maybe my Phoenix will be, or my Shredder will be safe. We're not going to be able to protect it anytime soon, probably anyhow. Maybe I should have bolted them there to get it up to 4 toughness. But there's a good chance they're not playing Lightning Bolt. It might just be on Lightning Axe and Unholy Heat. Sure. Now the second Phoenix, if they can activate it here, it seems like a very good chance. We're probably done for. Probably just shouldn't have kept that hand, to be honest. Pack it in if they reveal the other spell here. Frozen. That is definitely a good one for them to have left. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, I think this is a much more acceptable one-lander with the Steam Vents as the one land instead of Basic Mountain. 2 1-drops and a Bauble. See if the opponent plays something that blocks Ragavan here. If they do, we'll probably play the Channeler. Yeah, they're on Ragavan. Sure. Guess we will go with the Channeler then. Also like to draw lands. That works. Let's see what's on top of their deck. Stomping around, sure. Cast into the fire. They're going to spend 2 mana to kill my Channeler. Guess they do not like the One Ring, probably. And then we'll go with a Ledger Shredder, which blocked Ragavan pretty well. Let's try and get out from under the Ragavan Snowball. I'm going to play Karn. That is definitely scary in this format. See what they get with it here. Probably just their own One Ring. If they have the land for it, that is. But that means my Shredder stays around, they don't get in with Ragavan. So unless they have something I'm not thinking of here, I think we're in an okay spot. Shadow Spear. Not sure what they expect to accomplish with that. But we'll play second Shredder. Our own Ragavan. Double Connive. Discard second Ragavan. And kind of interested in Memory Lapse. Maybe we have enough threats, we don't need the Channeler here. I think that's reasonable. Attack Karn, so he can't draw another card. Shredder blocks Ragavan, even with the Shadow Spear attached. So yeah, if their plan is play an Equip Shadow Spear, no, play an Animate Shadow Spear, sure. What else you got, opponent? Would you like to cast another spell? Trigger my Shredders. Bit confused what's going on here. Play a Triome. Of course, it's a brand new format, so you can't really be too sure of what most anybody's doing. Goes to combat, does not attack, passes the turn. Wonderful. Going to open with an Expressive Iteration, if you don't mind. Opponent might be on counterspells. They do indeed have Memory Lapse. I'm somewhat tempted to just play this second Ragavan. I guess we can attack first, huh? So send you at Karn, send Ragavan in, keep the other Shredder back to block. If they want to trade with my Ragavan, I can play the second one, which seems pretty good. Karn down. Back up Ragavan. Connive, Connive. Not countering any spells this turn. Bolt's real good, huh? But just think, Treasure Cruise could be 3 bolts. Feeling pretty good here. But who knows what they're up to. They're gonna Otawara my Shredder. I guess we'll trade Ragavans. Gilded Goose. Sure. Guess we just... Iteration? I guess we could, like, Shredder or Treasure Cruise. Might be even better here. Keep the Artifact, because there's the fewest of those in the deck. Trigger, trigger. I think that's enough Shredders for the moment. I guess that's fine too. Draw a couple of cards. Have Unholy Heat available if we need it. Sure. Fable. Not going to be good enough here. Okay, I think we've put him away here. Iteration, hand, library, exile, shock that in, play Channeler, connive, put back a Spell Pierce, and a land, and attack for 7. Here we go. Guess I could have had lethal there, right? They didn't have mana to activate the food. If I discarded a spell instead of the land, I would have 1 more power, then we could kill the blocker, deal 3 to face, but we got him anyway. Good stuff. And we are back. Went 5-3. I had a lot of fun playing this deck. It's doing a lot of cool stuff that I like to do. It plays pretty similarly to my Paper Modern deck. It's kind of going for the same sort of Murktide thing, except there's no Murktide Regent in this format, so we have to kind of play around with the threats a little bit. It's trying to be a lot more control-y than a typical prowess deck with all of the counterspells, and Ragavan's not the most aggressive card you could have, but it's played pretty well in the early days of this format. You will lose to Bowmasters most of the time if your opponent is on those, but otherwise it's been pretty reasonable into everything I've seen. The Shredder is being big enough to deal with any other creatures in the format works out pretty well. I haven't seen Phoenix that much. That seemed a little bit of a tough one, but of course we didn't really do anything that much, so can't say all that much about it. Let me know what you guys think about this format. There's a lot of cool, powerful things happening. I might be inclined to make more content here. The only thing is that it's a very expensive format, right, with the 20 rares of fetch lands that are mostly necessary, maybe 15 or so, but all of those and all of the bonus sheet cards like Lightning Bolt and Brainstorm are all printed at rare and are thus expensive to get. Like all of the banned cards that you can play here that you can't play other places are mostly rares. Channeler is an uncommon, which is one of the few. Ragavan, of course, is a mythic. Treasure Cruise being a common is a godsend. This card is definitely good in this format and any other format in which it is legal. This card is super duper sweet, brings us back from the brink a lot of times. This deck is very good at filling the graveyard. A couple more fetch lands would make it a little bit better. Maybe we're a little too heavy on the counterspells, and being more aggressive would be a little bit better, but I like to play a little bit slower to like see what the other people are up to in this format, right? If you kill them on turn 3 when they've played 3 lands and 1 spell, then that's not really doing all that much, right? So at least let them cast their spells, then you can counter it, and then go on to win the game. We didn't run away with Ragavan much in this set, though it did look pretty well against us a couple of times, so... one thing I will say about this deck is all of the banned cards that are in this deck are definitely going to be playable in this format, right? None of them are weird, janky combo pieces, right? Ragavan's just an absurdly good card. Brainstorm's just an absurdly good card. Memory Lapse and Counterspell are both just absurdly good. Unholy Heat, I guess, is a common too, and this is the only format you can play regular Unholy Heat. 6 damage to anything is just... this card's nuts too. Anyway, cool stuff going on here. Certainly this list could be more optimal, but yeah, that is Timeless, Arena's new format. And thanks for watching.